almost afraid to turn around and look.
Link? What is it? What's wrong?
Did you hear that? I whisper, finally regaining control of my body and turning around to scan the area for any sign of the man from my dreams. The man with my face.
Hear what? Link, I didn't hear anything.
He didn't hear anything. And I don't see anything. I guess it was just the wind, I managed to say.
Din's fire, Link. You're white as a sheet. What happened?
I shake off his concern. I'll be fine. I just thought I heard... It doesn't matter. Let's go. Shaking, partially from being wet, partially from being cold, and partially from having the living daylight scared out of me, I continue along the roof of the palace.
So, it's all well and good being on the palace, but we still have to get in the palace, you know.
No problem. We just gotta find a window. I get on my knees and drape myself over the edge of the roof. Oh, look! There's one! Shiek paces nervously behind me.
Link, I don't think...
Why not? Look, all we gotta do is hook my hook shot into the roof here, and then we just lower ourselves slowly down into that window there.
But Link, that's the princess's window. I mean, she might... Well, what if she's in there?
I pull myself up to look at him. Gosh, he looks nervous. All the better. Then we can just drop off this stupid package and get the hell out of here. All right?
I don't think...
Look, have you got a better idea? Shiek's gaze falters.
Well, no, but...
What's wrong then?
Link, I can't do that. I can't explain, but I can't go in there with you.
I stare at him for a moment. First he insists on coming all this way with me, and now he says he can't go the rest of the way with me? Sometimes I wonder about him. All right, then. Well, now's your chance to take off before the guards find us both. He gives me a relieved look, and I grin at him. Hey, thanks for your help. Couldn't have done it without you. The relief fades from his features, and he gives me that odd look again.
Yes, you could have.
He says, before pulling out one of his funky dooku nuts and throwing it at the roof. It explodes with a brilliant light, and he disappears into the glare. I shake my head. What did he mean by that? Shrugging it off to one of his odd personality quirks, I fire my hookshot at the roof, and then lower myself over the edge, rappelling down to the side of the palace. Slow to a crawl when I get to the princess's window. Can't resist peeking in. Luckily for me, there's no one there. I reach down and begin to work at the window, trying to get it open, but freeze suddenly when the door of the room opens, and a figure steps into the room. Long blonde hair cascades down her back, and falls gently into sapphire eyes. An absolutely flawless figure is silhouetted in her thin nightgown by the light pouring in from the door behind her. She's breathing hard, almost as though she's been running, and every breath she takes causes her chest to rise in a way that stops my own breath. Malin is pretty, but this woman is absolutely beautiful. She's so breathtaking, so exquisite, so familiar. Why is she familiar? I know for a fact I would remember someone like her. And yet, I can't shake this feeling that I know her. That I know her well. She turns and sees me, and her eyes widen as our eyes meet. The back of my hand suddenly begins to burn, and I rub it absently as I stare at the princess. Her mouth opens suddenly to a tiny O of surprise, and she points at something behind me. But before I can turn and look, I feel something slam painfully into my back, sending me swinging rapidly towards the window. I cry out and release the catch on my hookshot as I fly through the window and into the room with a resounding crash. I smash into the floor and roll to a painful stop as Zelda screams in surprise. The sound of her voice sends images crashing back into my mind. Another piece of rubble comes crashing down beside me as I reach for her hand and drag her along behind me. I almost lost her to Ganondorf when the bastard was alive. I'll be damned if I lose her to him now that he's dead. Come on! We're almost out of here!
Link will never make it! His magic is working too fast! We'll be crushed by the castle!
No, we won't! I cry, speeding up. I won't let it end like this! We run through the crumbling palace, dodging moblins and rubble from every direction.
Link, the door's blocked off!
Damn! I cry, skidding to a stop just in front of the barred door. I stare at it dismally. There's gotta be another way! I cry, whirling around and drawing the Master Sword. Its familiar metallic ring calms me as I wait for the Moblins to approach us. There has to be!
There is!
Zelda cries, closing her eyes and concentrating. Suddenly she starts glowing and she lifts her arms to the sky with a small gasp. The bars in the door fly up. I turn and look at her in amazement as the door opens. How did you do that? She just smiles at me.
It's one of the advantages of being a sage. I can...
She's cut off as a chunk of castle comes flying out of nowhere and strikes my shoulder. I cry out in pain and fall to the ground. The Moblins, sensing my weakness, are suddenly upon me.
Link!
Snapping out of it, I struggle to my feet, helped by the tiny hands of Princess Zelda. What was that? Was that a vision? A dream? A memory? I look up into the sapphire eyes that seem so familiar.
Link, are you alright?
How do you know my name? I groan as I straighten up. My back protests painfully against the exertion. And what hit me?
I did.
I choke on my questions and whirl around to face the window. There, perched amidst the broken glass, framed by the moonlight, is the man from my dream. It's like I'm looking into a mirror. A black one. Zelda makes a startled noise as she follows my gaze to where I'm looking. Who are you? What do you want?
Your blood will open the seal.
What seal? What are you talking about? Zelda's face hardens.
What is he saying? What does he want?
You can't hear him? She shakes her head.
What is he saying, Link?
He says my blood will open the seal. That's what he says. How do you know my name?
Hero of Time!
The figure screams, lunging at me.
Link!
Zelda screams as I shove her out of the way, taking the full force of the figure's attack. We fall to the ground in a heap, me, naturally, on the bottom of it. His touch is positively chilling as he wraps one hand around my throat and the other reaches for his sword. He draws it with agonizing slowness and raises it above my head.
Your blood will open the...
He's cut off as something hard smashes into his head and he topples to the side, dropping his blade. Zelda stands above me, her hands on a dented silver tray.
Quickly, Link, the package. Open it up.
What? What are you... Oh, the package! Wait, what good is that? I demand, reaching into my pouch and pulling the package out. The figure shakes his head and starts to get to his feet.
Hurry, open it up!
I rip open the package and dump it out. 3 arrows topple to the floor. That's it? I risk death in dungeons for 3 lousy arrows?
They're no ordinary arrows. Now quickly, take the gold one.
Wonderful. She's not just beautiful, she's crazy! The psycho version of me is back on his feet and is looking for a sword. I don't think Zelda's tray is going to hold up much longer against it. I swallow thickly. At this point, I'm willing to trust the crazy princess. I quickly inspect the 3 arrows, the light coming in from the doorway illuminating them. Nope, not that one. That one's bronze. Nope, not that one's silver. That means... Yes! There's the gold one! In less than a second, I got my bow off my back and the golden arrow knocked in it. As I take aim at the figure, the light glints off the point of the arrow, and I can feel something snap inside me. A cool power surges up and through me, tingling through every part of me, eventually winding up in my fingers. The back of my hand is burning fiercely now for some reason. The cold feeling spreads, and I release the arrow just as the tip bursts into a bright light. What in Din's name? I manage as the arrow strikes home. The dark figure howls as it's thrown back against the wall, and lies in a crumpled heap beside Zelda's bed.
Come on, we've no time for gawking. I don't think he's alone.
She picks up the other arrows and drops them into my quiver, beside the golden arrow. I do a double take. The golden arrow? But I just fired it! How could it be back?
They're magic, Link. You can't lose them. As long as you have enough regular arrows. Now come on.
The sound of shouting drifts in through the door. I gasp. Damn!
Come on!
I can hear someone shouting from out in the hall.
Princess.
A guard rushes into the room, and the first thing he sees is the combination of the trashed room, the bruised and disheveled princess, which, might I add, wearing nothing but her nightgown, and me. Poor little old me. Guess which one he blames?
You are under arrest.
He cries, drawing his sword.
Now, step away from the princess and...
His words die off in a gurgling sound as a twisted blade suddenly erupts from his chest. The blade slides off the sword into the ground and reveals a tall figure standing behind him. A tall, skeletal figure. For the love of Neru, a Stalfos! I thought those things were only in legends! The Stalfos steps on the dead guard and advances on the princess and I. Amidst the ever-growing panic and fear and confusion I'm feeling in my chest, one thought, one instinct breaks through. Protect the princess. At all costs, protect the princess. The Stalfos raises his bloody sword and I react instantly, grabbing Zelda by the waist and whirling around in one motion. I fire my hookshot at the tree on the other side of the moat that her window overlooks, and release the catch almost before the claw has embedded itself in the wood. Zelda and I fly through the window, our exit accompanied by the angry howls and cries of the moblins below. And through it all, one thing keeps running through my head.
Your blood will open the seal.